I have not talked about this because, quite frankly, this happens routinely every few years. And I just haven't really paid attention to it. But I've done some research a little bit in the last week or so on it. And it's just standard operating procedure. And I really haven't heard anybody come out and address it from what I believe is the proper angle. So I'm going to address this coming up in the next segment. This whole doomsday Christian cult saying that the world is going to end tomorrow. And, of course, it's already tomorrow in Japan and Australia. So they got 12 hours for the world to end. And, of course, it's not going to end. And it won't matter to these people. I will be the devil for not agreeing that the world ended on Monday when the world hasn't ended. And there'll be undoubtedly some lunatics that believe they've been raptured. Ladies and gentlemen, the rapture is not in the Bible until after Christ comes back and the dead in Christ are raised. I mean, I'm sorry, I've happened to have read Revelations, and no church taught this until about 150 years ago. And basically the Masons cooked this up as a way to discredit Christianity. That is an element of the Masons. And most of Christianity now in the world is basically globalist, Masonic run. And that's, if you like being fooled and you like being idiots, go ahead, knock yourselves out. I mean, I grew up hearing the world was going to end in '87 in Dallas from the mainline evangelicals, and billboards were up in town. And I heard it again in the '90s. And you people never stop your idiocy. And most of you are a bunch of torture-loving, war-loving people who go along with tyranny and then never go out and protest abortion because the world's ending next week. It's a big, sickening, psyop, cop-out. Why don't you get your head screwed on straight? Well, we're going to talk about it when we come back. Stay with us. Now, that said, if you want to talk about any of these issues I've raised or the mainstream media trying to basically discredit Christians right now by hyping up a few Christian organizations that are saying that the rapture will start sometime today or tomorrow. That's because we're already in tomorrow in Japan and Australia and areas of the Pacific. But if this hadn't happened by tomorrow afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or tomorrow evening, then the media is going to say, look, all Christians are discredited. And they say the rapture will happen by tomorrow, and then 6 months of earthquakes and total bedlam will then unfold. Now, here's the deal. And I'm going to try to be as direct as I can on this. Anyone who knows history, anyone who's read the Bible, knows that Matthew 24:36 and many other verses in the Bible make it very clear. And Christ told his disciples, anybody that tells you when my second coming is going to happen is basically a deceiver. And here's Matthew 24:36. But of that day and hour, this is King James, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but only my Father only. Again, Matthew 24:36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man. No man. Now, I know a lot of you preachers don't agree with the Bible, and I know you don't like me reading this. I understand. No, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. And I can read it to you from 20-something other Bibles, other translations. The New International Version, 1984. No one knows about that day or hour, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. New Living Translation, 2007. However, no one knows the day or hour when these things will happen, not even the angels in heaven or the Son himself, only the Father knows. English Standard Version, 2001. But concerning the day and the hour, no one knoweth, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father only. New American Standard, 1995. But of that day and hour no one knoweth, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father alone. It goes on. He will come like a thief in the night. You want me to keep reading this? Here's the Weymouth New Testament. But as to that day and the exact time, no one knoweth, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father alone. World English Bible. But no one knows of that day and hour, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Would you like me to continue? with the New American Standard Bible, the International Standard Version? Would you like me to continue? And my point is, how do you have all these Christian broadcasters and all these other groups and organizations, some people who've made these claims a decade ago or more and been wrong? Why do we listen to these people? Okay? They are there to discredit Christians. I should do an entire hour or two special on this and go in and pull up the history, go over all the names, but in the interest of time and other important news and your phone calls that I want to take on any of the issues I've raised or any issues you'd like to raise, doing first-time callers right now on this live Friday edition. In the interest of that, I'm just going to spend a few more minutes on this whole rapture cult situation. The toll-free number to join us is 1-800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. Now, I refuse to get into the quagmire, the swamp, the bayou that is religious infighting, and everybody claims they've got the answer, and then it's just a bunch of Pharisees poking each other's eyes out. I know I got a big stick in my eye, and I'm not here trying to tell you what's in your eye. Unless you're a globalist openly trying to pass legislation and laws that attack my liberty and freedom, then you're fair game because you've stated what your goals are. But I have done deep study on the whole rapture movement. And if you believe in the rapture and that you're going to get this pre-tribulation rapture, I don't think you're a bad person. I just think you need to be aware of the fact that this was never taught, not in the Greek Orthodox or the Russian Orthodox or the Catholic Church or by Protestants. And after the Reformation, no one taught this. And I challenge you to show me where they did. No one taught it. You can pull up the verses in Revelation when Christ returns and clobbers the devil and the angel bounds up Beelzebub and all the rest of it. Then the dead in Christ are raised, okay? Okay? And then that differs with the whole idea that you just immediately go flapping off to heaven. Now, in the last 150 years or so, different teachers in England and the U.S. began, and folks that wanted to attack Christianity push this, that Christians would be raptured before the tribulation. And since then, the Christians in Russia, Christians in China, Christians in North Korea, Christians in Nazi Germany, even some people in World War I in this country, they always think everybody's the Antichrist and that they're going to be raptured out of it. Well, I go back to the old Bedouin saying, trust in God, but tie up your camel. And it's this giant cop-out, okay? Let's say before the world government beast system, cashless society goes in, and even if you're an atheist or an agnostic, I mean, you can't deny that the globalists have set up under the UN 10 global regions with 10 sub-regions per country, and they call them 10 kingdoms in the UN documents. We've covered this with Dr. Michael Kaufman, the official UN documents, and they're setting up a global standardized cash society with face scanning and thumbprinting to buy and sell. And then it gives the system total control over everything you do. And where they can starve you out if you don't submit to their system. And the no-buy list, the no-fly list, the no-travel list, the no-work list. This is the global standardized system. I have it in the news today as they start to roll it out incrementally. So regardless of whether you believe God, the devil, whatever, the New World Order psychopaths have taken this archetype, if you see it in that perspective, because regardless of how you slice it, this is happening, and they are manifesting it. They believe in it. They're setting it up. And they're earth worshipers. You get to the deepest levels of the UN, the Rockefellers, all these people. They fund the Luciferian Trust. They fund occultic groups. Every major globalist, the Queen of England, Tony Blair, all of them, it's always coming out, are obsessed with this stuff. Bohemian Grove, Skull and Bones, they believe in the devil. They're not secretly meeting. And by the way, they believe the devil's God. They don't go, oh, Beelzebub, oh, devil, we love you, oh, man in a red, pajamas. No, they believe Lucifer the beautiful, Lucifer the good. In fact, pull up the Masons saying, sweet Lucifer, I am Lucifer. I want to pull that up because most Masons are porch Masons and don't know this. It's how the globalists control good people. They don't understand that at the higher levels they teach you, no, Lucifer's really the good guy, and Jesus is his bad brother. Now, lower level Masons, they teach them, the point is, and then you can argue that in the last 200 years, the Illuminati took over what Masonry was. If you get deeper into it, that there's a bunch of different branches to it. So I'm not here indicting and saying Masons are bad and evil. I mean, mainline churchgoers are involved in more of a Luciferian initiation than even Masons are. The New World Order are masters of counterfeits. But again, I'm digressing. What we're dealing with here, in 87, they said this. In the mid-90s, they said it. And every time the media comes out and criticizes it, and it's even the same people that are doing it. Now, I can't judge them. I don't know their heart. But they may mean well. But all over the news, every channel last night, every radio, TV, Fox, CNN. I was scrolling through channels this morning. In here in the studio, we got multiple channels on. We got channels on in the coffee room, break room, making it look like all Christians are kook nuts. Just like by taking Muslim extremists and then saying all Muslims are, want to murder everybody. They are taking this, and then when the rapture doesn't happen tomorrow, Christians will again be seen like the Hale Bopp comet cult, thinking a spaceship was behind it and putting on their black Nike tennis shoes and taking barbiturates and drinking vodka. And putting bags over their heads, waiting for the aliens to beam them up. Beam me up, aliens. This whole thing of being beamed up by Scotty up there with Captain Kirk, and you get beamed up to the teleporter room, and there's Jesus, and he comes and hugs you, and, oh, guess what, my flock? You don't have to go through any tribulation. Every one of the prophets went through tribulation. Almost all of them got killed. Most of the disciples got boiled alive, crucified upside down, thrown into the arena. What happened to Jesus? Whipped till the flesh was falling off his skin. Crucified. Spit on. Crown of thorns crammed on his head. But you are not going to have to do anything. And they've got these giant churches with helicopter pads and swimming pools, and mainline Christians just go there to find people to cheat on their wives and husbands with. I mean, that's what I grew up in Dallas, folks. Believe me, I've seen it. I mean, I lived in a upper middle class neighborhood, and up on the hill were the mansions in my neighborhood. We lived down in the middle class area, and it was the preacher kids, just devil worshiping, sex, partying, wildness, unlimited. It's the old joke of you want to find a loose woman, go after the preacher's daughter. She's ready to go right now behind the church. Now, the issue here is you got a bunch of hypocrites. And they're telling you that you don't have to face evil. You don't have to get involved. I hear these mainline Christians, oh, praise the Lord, things are getting bad. They're coming out with the microchip, the implantable chip. It's the end of the world. My goodness, Lordy be. I'm going to be teleported out of here by a golden ejection seat right into the arms of Jesus. That's not history. That's not biblical. That's not common sense. It says the beast will wage war on the saints and overcome them. And you guys will try to twist that any way you want. But Jesus comes like a thief in the night, and that's the return. And they've got all the big media in Hollywood financing this rapture business, and hundreds of millions of books sold, literally hundreds of millions. One title alone, I was reading, sold like 20 million copies of one author. Movies, all of this, where people are told, and so Christians are never going to be able to recognize evil or fight it, because, and this has infected everybody. It's a general attitude of, well, the world's just going to end, it's all over. In fact, that's what the whole 2012 thing is. And I've been meaning to make a film about this, but I've been so busy on other fronts. I started it 2 years ago, never made it. I should just churn one out ahead of 2012. So we're still talking a year and a half away. I should churn one out and point out that that they want this cop-out. They have the religious cop-out. Oh, the Muslims think it's the end of the world, too. They're saying the end of the world's coming in the next few years. They've got the same manipulation going on. The Christians, many of them think it's the end of the world. And then you've got, for the secular crowds, all the Hollywood movies and the hype being pushed about coming up in December of 2012, a year and a half from now, that the end of the world's coming. And I've been down to the Mayan pyramids. I've read the text. I've looked into it. It doesn't even say that. even if you believe a bunch of human sacrificing, wild-eyed, hallucinogen-taking lunatics, the Aztec priest class, following the Mayan system, I've gone, and it means a new hearth will be lit, that a new age is beginning. It does not mean the end of the world. It does not mean the end of the world. Basically, our world is the big God's hallucination, and he basically wakes up and then goes back to sleep on 2012 is one Mayan angle. The other is a new hearth will be lit, and a new system will start. I mean, look, I've actually gone to the pyramids, gone and actually not gotten the general tour, but gone and talked to resident Mayan and Western archaeologists, and I've read the books. The whole Mayan thing isn't even real. Even if you believe that the Mayan prophecies were real, that's not the Mayan prophecies. So, for the New Age crowd, which is really the old age, they think it's the end of the world. The Christians have been taught it's the end of the world. Catholics, a bunch of them, think it's the end of the world. With all this Fatima stuff I get constantly emailed about. Okay? The end of the world would be a giant asteroid hitting, would be a super plague being released by these bioweapons makers. And then you'll all go die thinking it's the end of the world and God doing it, when it's the globalists who've got their emergency seed banks at the Arctic Circle and 14 others. They've got their government bunkers, their COG systems. They're gearing up, and they've got all these History Channel, Discovery Channel shows about Earth without man, and they're pushing it on Comedy Central, how great it's going to be when almost everybody gets killed soon. They're creating a subconscious psychological expectation that most of us aren't going to be here soon, because the New World Order is getting ready to kill most of us and has written countless white papers that we source on how they're going to do it. Whatistheendgame.com if you want to just see the tip of the iceberg. So, there is a mass, full-court press against every religious group and secular groups with 2012 mumbo-jumbo that it's a foregone conclusion that you're going to die. Because if they can sell you on there's no hope, then you'll just sit there and lay down to them rolling out their global government system, which itself is a technotronic police state to lock everyone down to then carry out the orderly extermination. Okay? As for me, I'm not buying it. I'm not standing down. But look at this. New York man spends life savings ahead of 2012 doomsday. New York man spent $140,000 of his life savings advertising his prediction that the world will end tomorrow. And it's already today, again, in the Pacific, on the other side of the planet. Now, continuing here, where did all this come from? This is WDBJ7 News TV. Predictor of May 21st doomsday to watch it on TV. The U.S. evangelical Christian broadcaster predicted that Judgment Day will come on Saturday, says he expects to stay close to the TV or radio to monitor the unfolding apocalypse. Harold Camping, 89, previously made a failed prediction that Jesus Christ would return to Earth in 1994. I remember that. The head of the Christian radio network family stations, and he'll end up getting a bunch of money, hyping, give us the money in the last year so they could put out ads saying the end of the world, and then it'll be, God gave us a reprieve. Just watch tomorrow. I'll be the bad guy for saying this was baloney and hokum, not him. I'll be bad for being right. Watch. The head of the Christian radio network Family Stations, Inc., says he is sure the earthquake will shake the earth on May 21st. Well, there's earthquakes all the time. Sweeping true believers to heaven and leaving others behind to be engulfed in world destruction over a few months. We know without a shadow of a doubt it's going to happen, Camping told Reuters. His family radio has 66 U.S. stations and broadcasts in more than 30 languages through international affiliates. And a lot of these folks are good people. And I'm sure this guy means well, but he's been wrong again. Pastor, please, have you read the Bible you claim to follow? Christ said, look out for people that run around saying this stuff. No one knows the time of the second coming. And there isn't a pre-rapture before that, Bubba. I've read the Bible. That doesn't matter. You're the one that's always wrong, so you're right. Continuing, I can't tell you how many times there's groups out there saying the end of the world is coming or space aliens are going to land. This is all a psyop. Matthew 24:36, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, not the Son, but my Father only. But, that's Jesus. Who wants to listen to him? We can listen to Harold Camping. Harold Camping, who needs Jesus? Who needs Yeshua? We have Harold Camping. He will tell us everything we need to know. And this will further then just discredit Christians who believe you reap what you sow, do unto others as you have done unto you. You know, don't support a world numbering system to buy and sell. Whether you believe Jesus is a real entity or not, that's some good stuff to follow. But no. Harold Camping will speak for Christ, and he will speak the opposite of what Christ said on this subject, and then will be discredited. So there you have it, my friends. Here's MSNBC. Kids hope to attend party, but parents say world is going to end. Yes. And all these children will lose their faith, or may lose their faith after this. Families divided as some people believe world will self-destruct tomorrow, today, in areas of Asia and Australia. Continuing, the end of the world as we know it. Prediction of Saturday rapture is fuel for faithful and doubters. Doomsday Church still open for business. CNN. May 21st, Doomsday Leader blames the gays. The world is going to end. Okay. So there you have it, my friends. The world is going to end tomorrow. That is, the Christians are going to be teleported out of here, or Christians argue about it to believe in this rapture stuff, this pre-trib rap, that they fall over dead. And undoubtedly, there'll probably be some people that at midnight when they don't get teleported are going to drink Kool-Aid or something and then die and go, I'm beaming. Oh, they fall over dead like the Jim Jones facility. I'm coming. Hail Bop, here I come. I'm sorry. I just can't handle it anymore. Those Hail Bop people who were castrated themselves, computer programmers running around in California, and then took barbiturates. It's so sad, and killed themselves because they were being teleported up. Are you noticing you're getting this from the New Agers, the New Age mainline Christians, big groups of Catholics, and then the whole 2012 people? All right, I'm done.